And the Attorney General of the great state of California, Kamala Harris, is with us. General Harris, Attorney General Harris, welcome to the program.
Kamala.
Thank you. We're so pleased to have you with us. I think that it's important to point out that the Obama's campaign is actually running an ad in some swing states pointing out that Florida was won or lost, depending on how you look at it, by 537 votes. I mean, there are those of us who think we really should be looking 2 months earlier at Katherine Harris knocking 60 to 80,000 African Americans off the voting rolls in Florida and Jeb Bush making sure that happened. But, setting that aside, it is important that people get out and vote. Every vote is really vital. First of all, I'd love to hear you riff on that. And second, and my follow-up question, I'll tell you in advance, would be, what do you say to somebody who lives in California, your state, the state where you're the Attorney General? I had, Democrat called me yesterday from California and said, this state's going to vote, the Electoral College is going to vote for Barack Obama, so why should I bother?
So on the first point, first of all, it's great to be on your show, Tom. On the first point, I'm in North Carolina, and I was just in Raleigh meeting with various groups, and they pointed out that we won, meaning the president won North Carolina 4 years ago, and when you crunch the numbers, it was by 5 votes in each precinct.
Wow!
That's how close it was. Right?
5 votes in each precinct.
Right. So there's my riff on that. Each vote counts.
Yeah.
On the point about California, I'd say vote in California early, like I did, and then head to Nevada.
Well, you can't go there to vote, though. That's not what you're suggesting. You're suggesting
help
out.
Vote at home and then go to Nevada.
Yeah. Okay.
But the point is this: yes, we have the Electoral College, and it's you win the whole state. But the reality of it is, there are many reasons why everyone should vote, and it has everything to do with just a simple concept, which is that your vote is your voice.
Right.
And we need all the voices to be heard, because if we want the issues to be heard, the voices have to be heard first.
Well, I have a theory on this. I'd like to reality test with you. George W. Bush lost to Al Gore by over 500,000 votes in the popular vote. And in a very real way, until 9/11, the first 8-9 months of his presidency, he was not viewed, in part because of the whole Supreme Court thing and what happened in Florida, but mostly because Al Gore got 500,000 more votes than he did, popular votes. He was not viewed as a legitimate president, and he was having a real hard time getting any kind of, he wanted to privatize Social Security on day one, and, he couldn't even get a conversation going about that. And so if President Obama were to be reelected in the Electoral College and not have also a majority of votes in the popular vote, because people in blue states didn't bother to show up, figuring, hey, my state's going to vote for him anyway, why should I? That would be a bad thing.
I agree with you. And the bottom line is that, there are a few things that we can do that just reinforce, hopefully, the integrity for ourselves and for others of our democratic system. And I'm going to tell you, when maybe it sounds corny, but when I go to vote, it just makes me feel so proud to be an American.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk around with that little sticker, I just voted.
Yep.
And it just makes me feel good that and for a number of reasons, not, some of which have to do with the fact that, listen, I am an African American woman.
Mm-hmm.
So people fought and some died for my right to vote. And we can't take that lightly. People have been excluded even through tactics by some states in this election cycle. There have been tactics to suppress the vote.
Yes.
Because that the bottom point, the line there is because each individual's vote it has value. But people don't try and take away something that it doesn't have value.
Yeah.
Right? It has value. And so let's reinforce our knowledge of that fact, even if we are in California, and yes, Barack Obama is going to take the state of California.
Yeah, we're talking.
Even if we are in California, let's pay honor to and respect the value of each person's vote, because if you're in some other state, there are a whole lot of people trying to keep you from exercising that right.
Right.
And so, in solidarity, let's all go out and vote. If nothing else.
and add to the legitimacy of his presidency by, hey, look at how many votes I got. I just think that there's something to be said for that. That's really important. You are not only the Attorney General of the great state of California, Kamala Harris, you are also one of the people who fought so hard against the banksters to help underwater homeowners. Tell me about that and where we're at right now.
Well, thank you. So I was one of it ended up being 49 attorneys general who signed on to the multi-state, and which resulted in $25 billion approximately being divided up between the states to give relief to homeowners who had been, frankly, victimized in the foreclosure process. Essentially, there was an investigation that was done that showed that the 5 big banks engaged in robo-signing, so they foreclosed upon families without doing the due diligence to determine if that really should have been what happened. Initially, California was not being offered what I thought would have been commensurate and fair in terms of the deal. So I pulled California out of the national discussion, but we ended up. I ended up allowing it to happen when we were able to bring $18 billion back to California, $12 billion specifically for principal reduction. So in California, I hired a monitor specifically for the state, but we also, for the national settlement, hired a national monitor. And so we have been monitoring the rollout of the settlement. And what we are seeing is that there has been good progress. We are seeing principal reductions. We are seeing refinancing occur. And to some extent, we're seeing the housing market start to turn course and improve.
So in your state, that money is actually being used to help underwater homeowners. I understand in some other states, particularly some of the red states, apparently Scott Walker up in Wisconsin and other governors have used a pile of money that was intended for underwater homeowners for their state budget so that they can claim that they've balanced the budget, and they've just basically put it in the state budget. Is that the same money that we're talking about here, or is that a different pile of money?
So there were different piles or different sections for different purposes as part of the national settlement for each state. The deal we negotiated for California was that we would have a commitment that a certain amount of it, the vast majority of it, would go to principal reduction, and that couldn't be tinkered with. There was another amount of money that each of the states received that was intended to go to directly to help with the counseling of homeowners and to help them through, mostly what I wanted to do is give it to nonprofits. I'll tell you frankly, it's a nonpartisan issue in terms of what each state has been facing in terms of the budget crisis, and each governor has had to make difficult choices. I mean, Jerry Brown, my governor, has had to make difficult choices.
Yeah,
and
they're tough.
And everyone's had to take some pain, unfortunately, with that. So, yeah, there are many states where the governors have taken some part, if not all, of the money that was supposed to go to counseling, which was a percentage, a small percentage of the total money.
Very interesting. Attorney General Kamala Harris, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for all your work.
And thanks for being out there on the campaign trail to help keep this country democratic.